Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Etheridge and this is my environmental sustainability plan for Homewood, Alabama. I hope that by the end of this presentation you will all strongly consider making changes in your daily lives that will positively influence the sustainability of our environment. So what is environment? The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines environment as the complex of physical, chemical, and biotic factors such as climate, soil, and living things that act upon an organism or an ecological community and ultimately determine its form and survival. So to me, I just look outside and I look towards the woods and everything that's going on out there from the trees and what's causing them to grow and what's causing them to deteriorate, the animals, what's causing them to thrive and what's causing their decline. All of these things together are involved in environment. So what is sustainability? It is defined as of, related to, or being a method of harvesting or using a resource so that the resource is not depleted or permanently damaged. So to have a sustainable environment, we need to not deplete or permanently damage the resources that we have access to. Now that includes food, water, fuels, energy, all of these things. So let's talk about a few types of resources that we have. We have perpetual resources, renewable resources, and we also have non-renewable resources. As we continue on, we'll talk further about these. So let's talk about perpetual resources for a minute. Perpetual resources is loosely defined as something that is never ending, that'll never go away. Not labeled here. So we have solar and wind energy, and there's also tidal energy, which refers to the movement in the ocean. So solar energy, you can see from the picture here, these are photo cells on top of a building on Oxmoor Road in Homewood. This business, there are actually 3 businesses inside this building, and they have all partnered together to set up this system. And what these photo cells do is they take direct energy from the sunlight, and they store that energy in a bank of batteries, and that direct current is run through an inverter and converted to alternating current, which is then used throughout the building to power every mechanical process or electrical process in the building, from computers to printers, lights, and coffee makers. So the other would be wind energy. You've all seen the big wind turbines. We do not have any of those here in the South in Alabama that I have seen. And there's also tidal energy, which I read briefly about, and it's basically to where they can run the same type of system as the wind energy, but they're using a propeller type mechanism in the ocean, and as the current in the ocean moves past the propeller, it will spin it, generating the current that can be stored and then converted into alternating current and used to power things on the grid. The next resource we're going to talk about is renewable resources. These are resources that can be renewed if taken care of in the right way. So the picture to the left is a community garden. This is only a small portion of the garden set up in Homewood near the middle school, that everyone in the community is welcome to, and everyone in the community pitches in to help grow this garden. There are many raised beds over here that are just have an abundance of vegetables in them that everyone in the city loves to partake in. And on the right is a picture from the nature preserve, and there's a flock of turkey in. They're so used to seeing walkers and things that they're not scared at all. So they're not necessarily a resource for us as far as food from the nature preserve, but the animals, poultry, turkey, beef, all the other animals we eat are definitely renewable in the fact that breeders are going above and beyond to make sure that these animals are bred the right way, that they are healthy and safe for us to eat. So renewable resources are definitely one of the main staples of our diet. Now let's talk about non-renewable resources. These are the most relied on right now, but in the future, we're really going to have to shift gears and revert to some other type of energy, maybe the solar or wind, tidal energy, because these are just going to be too costly to be consumed. Oil, natural gas, and coal. We use these for fueling vehicles and cooking food and heating houses, heating water, and so all these things that we rely on daily are not going to be as easily achieved in the future if we don't start to think about ways that we can start using different energy sources other than the ones we've been relying on for some time now. Let's talk about saving non-renewable resources. So recycling papers, plastics, metals, and glass, it takes far less fuel to recycle these things as it does to make them from nothing. So recycling is a huge step in saving resources. The next would be use of substitutes such as solar, wind, biogas, tidal energy. The biogas specifically because it can take the place of natural gas in our homes as far as cooking and heating. Biogas can be trapped it can be gathered from a greenhouse type thing in your yard. So they've got this canister that you can place your food scraps and your lawn clippings, anything biodegradable you can place in this canister, and basically when it deteriorates, it's going to produce a gas, and that gas can then be filtered into your home through your gas lines, and it's flammable. So these gases can be lit on the stove or anywhere else that they're needed. So biogas is a huge breakthrough when it comes to saving our non-renewable resources. And the third thing will be prevent wasting. We waste so much fuel, water, and power just daily that we need to consider ways to save those. Next, I want to talk about how can we create an environmentally sustainable community. The first one I've got listed is we're going to conserve water, and we're going to do that by taking quicker showers, turning the water off while we brush our teeth. Even just go as far as don't flush the toilet unless it has a solid in it, because you're wasting 2.5 gallons of water right there with every flush, even if it's just a little tinkle. So quicker showers, in and out, shut the water off while you're lathering up. Definitely shut the water off while you're brushing your teeth. So let's eat locally. This doesn't mean go to the nearest fast food place. You can shop at your nearest grocery store, farmers markets, vegetable stands. All of these are going to be local vegetables. Some of them even local meats. So that's definitely helping your community in its sustainability. So next we plant a seed. Growing your own garden greatly decreases your footprint because you're not having to go anywhere. You're not having to use fuel to get anywhere to buy anything or anything like that. So being self-sufficient with food is a very important skill to acquire. Next, let's talk about recycling. We already talked about it some, but it takes great amounts of fuel to produce paper, plastic, glass, and metal materials. So if we can recycle these items, we can greatly decrease the fuel consumption. We can also preserve trees if we're recycling all these paper products, because we're not going to have to cut down so many trees. So these are all going to help sustain the environment. Next, I'm going to say dispose of the disposables. That sounds crazy, right? So if we quit using paper, plastic, styrofoam altogether, we're going to greatly reduce fuel and tree consumption. These plates, cups, cutlery, napkins, paper towels that we trash every day are in astronomical numbers. If we're not going to recycle, we should stop using this stuff altogether. So the last thing I want to talk about is education. If we get passionate about making a positive change to sustain this planet, we're going to want to tell everybody we know. I get excited a lot about certain things in my life, and I want to tell everybody about it and tell everybody what I'm doing and how I feel about it. So let's do that with sustaining our communities. And let's start with our family and friends. They're going to be the easiest ones to talk to, So, let's tell them what an impact we're causing on the environment, and let's give them suggestions on ways they can reduce their footprint. Tell them what you're going to do. Tell them what steps you're taking to, decrease your footprint, you know, and see if they're willing to try it out too. So from there, you can ask all those people, hey, talk to your friends, talk to your coworkers, continue this chain reaction, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to make a large enough impact on this earth to help sustain, is to help this chain reaction go, as far as it can. So, we're in a society that's less focused on the environment, and it's going to take a very, very large movement to change that. And here's my challenge. It starts with you.